Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into the intense world of data breaches, those costly, high-stakes events that keep CEOs awake at night. But why should you care? Imagine for a moment that you're the head of a growing business. Everything's on track, trust is building with your customers, and then boom, a data breach hits. Sensitive information leaks, and suddenly, your customers' data is out there for anyone to grab. This kind of scenario isn't just a possibility. It's a reality for companies of all sizes, from local startups to giants like Equifax and Yahoo. So let's break down why these breaches happen, what they really cost, and most importantly, how they can be prevented. Let's start by revisiting some of the biggest breaches on record. Remember Equifax in 2017? A small vulnerability turned into a data nightmare, exposing the personal information of nearly 150 million Americans. And Yahoo! Not once, but twice they were breached. These stories show us that data security is everyone's concern, from everyday users to tech giants. Now, let's look closer at how these breaches usually start. They don't appear out of nowhere. Instead, they often begin as tiny, almost invisible cracks in security that hackers find and exploit. In Equifax's case, an unpatched software flaw, a small, overlooked detail led to a massive security failure. Imagine it like a tiny crack in a dam. Left unattended, it eventually bursts. This allowed hackers to enter and steal sensitive information over 2 months before anyone noticed. It's like leaving your front door open for weeks without realizing. Scary, right? And here's the key takeaway. These breaches are usually preventable. With regular system updates, vigilant monitoring, and strict security protocols, most security holes can be closed before they're exploited. Cybersecurity isn't glamorous, it's more like a constant game of staying a step ahead. But when done right, it's priceless and can save companies millions. Alright, let's dive into risk exposure. Imagine your personal data, your name, credit card numbers, passwords just floating around for anyone to access. The financial risks are huge, but it's not just about money. Personal information is valuable, too, and losing it opens the door to things like identity theft and blackmail. For a company, a breach creates a double-edged sword. They lose the trust of their customers, and their hard-won reputation can crumble overnight. I know someone who dealt with identity theft due to a data leak, and it took months to get their life back on track. Now, imagine this at a company-wide level. It's devastating. And then, there's the financial fallout. The numbers are staggering. In Equifax's case, they paid nearly $700 million in penalties and settlements alone. But that's just the start. Lost business, legal fees, and the expense of upgrading systems all add up. Think of it like leaving your car window open in a rainstorm. The cleanup is messier and more expensive than you'd ever predict. But it's not all about dollars. Think about the impact on a company's brand and identity. A data breach feels like a betrayal to customers. Imagine if your favorite brand had a major data leak, wouldn't your trust take a hit? Customers become cautious, investors pull back, and brand loyalty fades fast. In today's world, trust is currency, and a data breach throws it right out the window. So, let's shift gears to the prevention methods. One major takeaway from all these high-profile breaches is that cyber hygiene is critical. Regular software updates, firewalls, data encryption, and this one's big, training employees. Human error is actually one of the biggest causes of data breaches. By educating employees to recognize phishing attacks, avoid risky links, and use strong passwords, we're already reducing a huge portion of the risk. Another key concept is defense in depth. Picture this like locking your front door, adding a gate, and maybe even having a guard dog. The idea is to layer security so that it's much harder for anyone to break in. And don't forget encryption, this one's essential. Encryption makes data unreadable without the proper key, so even if someone manages to get inside, they can't actually use what they find. Companies like Equifax have learned their lesson the hard way. Now, they're investing in system upgrades, stricter protocols, and continuous monitoring, keeping an eye on every corner of the system to catch any suspicious activity. Imagine it like a system of security cameras that watch every entry point 24/7. It's the vigilance we need. Another powerful strategy? Access control. Companies are now limiting access to sensitive information, ensuring that only authorized personnel can view it. And here's where artificial intelligence comes into play. AI can monitor for unusual behavior, like an employee trying to access files they've never touched before. It's like having a 24/7 guard that's always learning and adapting. Finally, let's bring it back to costs. Preventing a breach is so much cheaper than dealing with one. Equifax, for example, ended up paying millions, not only in settlements, but also in covering credit monitoring for customers. The takeaway here: investing in cybersecurity upfront is like insurance. You may not need it every day, but when you do, it's worth every penny. So, what's the bottom line? Data breaches are a massive threat, but they're also preventable if we take cybersecurity seriously. By patching vulnerabilities, educating employees, and layering security, companies can avoid the pain, cost, and reputation hit of a data breach. So, let's all do our part to keep our data safe, because in today's digital world, security isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Now, for anyone wondering how to apply this knowledge in real life, remember, prevention starts with awareness. Look out for updates, always question strange emails, and if you're working within a company, take cybersecurity training seriously. Every individual action adds up in the fight against cybercrime. Thanks for watching, and stay cyber safe.